Hi, it's Grace from Rewired Relics. And this is a telephone microphone. I wanted to make a tutorial that utilizes things that you'd find around your house to make this cool, no solder telephone microphone that you can use as a vocal effect in the studio. I would recommend it there. Since we're not soldering, it's going to be hard to keep the connections together, but you'll get the basic idea and have a little fun in the process. You can put up your phone next to mine as a little bit of a comparison, but at the bottom you have the phone's microphone, at the top you have the speaker. This build will be getting rid of the old microphone on the bottom and turning the top speaker into our new lo-fi sparkly microphone. You're going to need a few things for this build. Firstly, an old telephone. I recommend one with visible screws in the handset. Sometimes they hide them in that little crevice there. Next, we're going to need an XLR cable. I recommend at least like a 3-footer or a 2-footer. Phillips head screwdriver, a wire cutter or scissors. Obviously, if you have a wire cutter lying around, that is my highest recommendation. Otherwise, a pair of scissors will do you well enough for this build. First, we're going to take our phone handset and take that old cable out. Then we're going to take our screwdriver and getting rid of all the screws in the handset. Some phones will come immediately apart, mine does not. So even without the screws, it's still hard to open. My little hack for this is I'll take a butter knife and I'll slip it between kind of the casing at the top of the handset and the bottom, or I'll kind of twist it around and see if I can figure out where I can put the butter knife best to kind of get it open. Now we're going to be forgetting about the original microphone and focusing on the speaker up here at the top. Remember that the yellow and green wires are the wires we want to keep. So we're going to take off this green plastic bit at the bottom, cut the wires off as close as you can, but do keep the gray plastic bit for later. It does come into handy. We do not like the old microphone, so we're going to take it out. Sometimes it's screwed into place. Mine was thankfully just that tab. You can keep this microphone for a future build, but for now we're just going to put it to the side and focus on these yellow and green wires. Being careful not to cut the wire completely through. We're focusing on kind of like a slicing motion to put a notch in that yellow coating so that I can pull it off with my fingernails. We're doing the same on the green side, just kind of getting a little bit of a notch with the scissors and then pulling off that coating to reveal the inner core. Once we've revealed the inner core of smaller wires, we're going to twist them all together. Doesn't matter counterclockwise, clockwise, whichever direction you choose is going to be great, but just twist them all until they're one complete wire twisted together. Then we're going to take our XLR cable. We want to keep this end of it. This is the plug end. So run your fingers along until you reach the very other side of the cable from that plug end. Take your kitchen scissors. We're going to create a notch in the outer coating. You don't want to cut the wire completely through. We just want a little notch. And you can see me kind of bending the wire till I kind of make that opening a little bit, more visible. Then you're going to go ahead and cut that plug off. And we're going to focus on getting this yellow coating off to reveal the inner core of the cable. If you find you can't pull it off the end, you can kind of slip your scissors in, being careful to try not to cut that inner core of the cabling. I wasn't so lucky myself. I did end up losing a little bit of the copper there, as you can see. Once we've revealed the inner core, we're going to take all of that copper coating, we're going to pull it to one side, and similar to what we did with the smaller wires, we're going to be twisting this all together until it forms one little copper unit. Once we've done that, you're going to take, sometimes there's string or a little bit of aluminum foil, cut those off. We do not need them. Be sure not to cut any of the other wires. Then we're going to be taking our scissors, again focusing on getting the coating, that white coating, off to reveal the inner core, but not cutting those inner wires. Twist them together as per usual, and then grab that gray plastic piece we saved from earlier. You can use the tip of your scissors to kind of get behind those like metallic tines, I guess you might call them. Try and get them as straight as possible, and then flip the piece around and try and pull out the wires. It was really hard for me to do this, so I ended up cheating a little bit and grabbing my pliers. Then you're going to make the hole at the back bigger by cutting the plastic a bit until your cable can fit through kind of nicely and easily peasily, just like this. Once you have your cable and your phone ready, it's time to put them together. You're going to grab that gray plastic bit that we put the cable through, and you're going to put it back into its original holder. You can kind of push it in place a little bit. Then you're going to take your white wire from the cable and yellow wire from the phone, make an X, and then twist them together to make that connection. Same thing with the green wire off the phone and the copper wire from the cable. Make an X, twist them together until they feel a little bit more solid. Then you're going to want to test the phone out, make sure it works, make sure that you are getting a connection. Once you do, get that XLR cable, plug it in, put your phone casing right back on, and you're all set. So there you go, a telephone microphone. I always picture this being used as a fun way to like fake a voicemail or say something kind of heartfelt. I think one of the lovely things about that telephone quality and that telephone sound is that it feels intimate, and it feels like it's kind of like directly from the speaker to your ears. It captures that sense of intimacy that I don't think other microphone effects can really embrace in the same way. There's many uses for this. Obviously, for vocal effects, it gives that very lo-fi, gritty telephone quality. You can also use it as a drum microphone for really thick kicks, really crunchy vibes, as well as up next to an amplifier as a reamping effect to get that gritty quality. You can kind of go as wild as you would like it to go. And would love to see kind of how you're using it. If you build one yourself, be sure to tag me at Rewired Relics, because I'd love to see your build. Would love to kind of hear that quality of sound and see what you do with it. I'll be posting a tutorial every week on this channel. So if you want a little ping for the journey, be sure to subscribe. Otherwise, I'll see you next week with another Rewired Relic. See ya.